The Cheshire Cat appeared, and due to his impoliteness towards the Queen, she loudly demanded his head to be chopped off. The king also disliked the Cheshire Cat and shouted to get rid of him. Alice played croquet for a while, but her hedgehog ball ran away, and her flamingo mallet flew off. She returned to where the Cheshire Cat was and found everyone shouting to chop off the cat's head, claiming they didn't know how to do it. The Queen ordered someone to bring the cat's owner, the Duchess, out of the prison. The Duchess saw Alice and said, "I'm so delighted to see you again, my dear friend." As she warmly linked her arm with Alice's and walked together, Alice was pleasantly surprised by the Duchess's good mood. She remembered seeing the Duchess in the kitchen before, where she had been very unpleasant, mainly due to the pepper. Alice thought to herself, "If I were the Duchess, I wouldn't want a single speck of pepper in my kitchen." Without pepper, soups can still be delicious. Maybe it's the pepper that makes people so irritable. Pleased with this new discovery, Alice continued, "It's vinegar that makes people sour, the bitter gourds that make them so bitter, and malt and sugar that make children so sweet. I just wish people understood this, so they wouldn't turn out so mean." Alice went on, lost in her thoughts, completely forgetting about the Duchess. When the Duchess spoke near her ear, it startled her. "My dear, what are you thinking about? You seem to have forgotten our conversation." "I can't tell you right now what lesson it will lead to, but I'll think of one. Or maybe there's no lesson at all." Summoning her courage, Alice replied, "Perhaps there's no lesson at all." The Duchess responded, "Oh, come on. There's a lesson in everything for children, as long as you can find it." She embraced Alice tightly. Alice didn't like the tight embrace, especially since the Duchess was very unattractive. Moreover, her height was such that her chin rested uncomfortably on Alice's shoulder, which made her feel quite uncomfortable. However, Alice didn't want to appear impolite, so she endured it as best as she could. Trying to make conversation, Alice said, "The game seems to be going well now." The Duchess said, "Yes, the lesson in this is, love is what makes the world go round." Alice whispered, "Some say it's one's own efforts that clear the way." "Oh, they mean the same thing," the Duchess said, pressing her pointed chin harder against Alice's shoulder. "This lesson is, as long as you watch your thoughts, your words will make sense." She seemed to enjoy finding lessons in everything, Alice thought, wondering why the Duchess wasn't asking to be embraced around the waist. After a brief silence, the Duchess said, "The reason I'm afraid of your flamingo is that I'd like to try it." "Can I?" Alice cautiously replied. "I'd rather you didn't embrace it." The Duchess remarked, "Yes, both flamingos and Mustard bite." "But Mustard isn't a bird," Alice pointed out. "You've got it exactly," the Duchess said. Alice continued, "I think it's a mineral." The Duchess said, "Of course, it's a mineral. There's a large eyelash factory nearby. The lesson in all this is that I have more than you do, yours is less." Alice hadn't paid attention to the last sentence, and she exclaimed loudly, "Oh, I get it now. It's a plant, even though it doesn't look like one." The Duchess said, "I wholeheartedly agree with what you said. The lesson here is that you're what you appear to be. Or, I could put it more simply, never imagine yourself different from what others see you to be, or you'll be miserable." Alice thought, what's she going on about? If she's so keen on finding lessons, I wonder why she's not asking for a waist hug. After a while, the Duchess said, "Enough now, dear. Every word I've spoken was a gift to you." Alice thought, what a cheap gift. Fortunately, people don't give birthday presents like this. What else was she thinking? The Duchess asked, pressing her pointed chin even harder against Alice's shoulder. "I have the right to think," Alice responded sharply, growing somewhat impatient. The Duchess said, "Of course, my dear. It's just like pigs having the right to fly." Her words suddenly seemed to disappear, and even the favorite lessons she liked to talk about remained incomplete. Her grip on Alice's arm also trembled. Alice lifted her head and saw the Queen standing in front of them, arms crossed, with a face as dark as the sky before a big thunderstorm. What was the Queen going to do?